This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Philippines, good evening. Maayong gabi sa Tibok Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Marhaban kay Falik, kay Falhal, Alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Ako po si Eric Espina and this is your only republic. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Bangsamoro Question or the establishment of a Bangsamoro government for that matter. And since time is very short and we have a slew of topics and issues that we will be discussing, let's just be brief about it and say we're very fortunate to have Congressman Celso Lobregat of the 1st District of Zamboanga City. Good evening, sir.
Mayong gabi. Good evening to all the televiewers in this program, Republica, the only republic.
Yes, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Okay, Congressman, my first question. The issue of the establishment of a Moro land, of Morohood for that matter. Some historians say this is conflicted historiography because firstly, there was really no unified Moro resistance. There were Tausugs, there were Maranaos, there were Samals, there were tribal royal houses. But to say there was a Morohood or a Moro land that went up against the Americans, the Spaniards, I think it's, the BBL is by itself already is a creation of a synthetic enforced sub-identity. It's like calling a Cebuano a Visayan and therefore we should have a Bangsa Visayan. Your take, Congressman?
Actually, okay. Well, what is in the Constitution?
Yes.
The Constitution mandates that there be created autonomous regions
Yes.
in Muslim Mindanao
Yes.
and in the Cordilleras. Eric,
Yes.
before I continue,
Yeah.
I would just like to say what I've always said.
Yes.
I am for peace.
Everybody,
I
Congressman.
am not anti-peace.
Yes.
But we need a Bangsamoro basic law
Okay.
that is just for everybody, that
Okay.
is fair for everybody, that
Oh.
is acceptable not only to the MILF, but to the people of Mindanao,
Okay.
and feasible or doable, and more important, consistent with the Constitution and existing law. If ever I have been very vocal in asking questions, in asking clarifications, it is because we want a BBL that is constitutional, that can withstand the test of constitutionality if it is brought to the Supreme Court. If you remember, in 2008, it was the city of Zamboanga when I was
Yes,
mayor,
yes.
the city of Iligan, and the province of North Cotabato. We went to the Supreme Court
Yes, yes.
concerning the MOA AD BJE.
Yes, yes,
diba?
yes.
And eventually, the Supreme Court declared it as
Unconstitutional.
contrary to the Constitution
Yes.
and contrary to existing law.
Illegal and unconstitutional.
Yes.
It was
So
the wording.
that's why, parang, you know, I have always been very passionate and also very vigilant. Hopefully that if we pass the Bangsamoro Basic Law, it will pass the test of constitutionality. So it was not that I was against the peace process or I was against the law itself, but we wanted to make sure na kung ipapasa natin, at
Yes.
least give it a chance that it can withstand the test of constitutionality.
I'll ask you the same question before, Congressman, because we have been together
Yes,
on this
I have guested several
on this
times.
question. Yes.
Yes.
And we're back here again. And then, so I'm asking the same question. Couldn't it have been possible to just tweak the ARMM law?
It could,
Yes.
but unfortunately, that is what is in the peace agreement between the peace panel and the MILF. This was done during the administration of President Aquino.
Yes.
Okay, so the administration of President Duterte, of course, wants to fulfill
Yes.
the commitment. But of course, it has to, even the President himself said, binabasa ko ito paulit-ulit,
Yes.
hindi ito lulusot sa the test of constitutionality.
Yes.
So, and he said, he will leave it up to Congress, and which he did. Actually, okay. To go back, there were 4 House bills that were filed.
Yes.
Okay, the
yes.
one is the BTC version,
Yes.
the one that was endorsed by Malacanang,
Okay.
and
One by
actually
GMA.
the sponsors,
Yeah.
the sponsor there in the original, in the BTC, were Speaker Alvarez,
Yes.
Majority Leader Fariñas, and more than 100 congressmen.
Yes, yes.
Then you have the GMA,
Yes.
President Lorena Cabal Arroyo
Yes.
version. Then you have the Deputy Speaker by SEMA version, which
Yes.
is the original BBL in
Yes.
the last Congress. Then you have a version filed by Congressman Calib Di Mapuro,
Yes.
now Norte. These were all referred to 3 committees: Committee on Local Government, chaired by June Ataron;
Yes.
Committee on Peace,
Yes.
Reconciliation Unity, chaired by Congresswoman Ruby Sahali;
Yes.
and to the Committee on Muslim Affairs, chaired by Congressman June Papanayan of Danao Sur.
Yes.
Okay, so the 3 committees met. They agreed to form a subcommittee to try to harmonize all the
Yes,
bills
yes.
into one.
Yes.
The subcommittee met 5 times,
Yes.
and then we agreed to disagree. Meaning to say,
Yes.
if there was any provision that we agreed, all of us,
yes.
there were 9 members, 9
Yes.
permanent members, there was no objection, then we adopted that version.
Yes.
If there was even one objection to one provision, then we put the BTC version
Yes.
as in the working draft. The working draft was presented to the mother committees, it was adopted, and that was the subject of 11 public consultations everywhere, in many places. But now that was the subject of 22 committee hearings. And so after all of that, all the departments of the government were called in to testify
Yes, yes.
and give their position papers. There was 3 meetings or 4 meetings wherein the congressman met and started proposing amendments. There were 300 amendments.
Okay.
Okay? And then we were supposed to meet during the break, last break, April 16, 17, 18, 19, to formally already vote on the amendments.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what happened in that very first meeting on April 16, there was the motion to adopt House Bill 6475
yes.
without a single amendment.
Okay.
And so, what happened, it was voted in the Committee on Local Government that proposal lost because you say, kailangan amendment. I think
Yes,
it was
of course.
9-1 or 9-2.
Yes.
But when it went to Muslim Affairs, and it was about, I think, 5-3 or 6-4 in favor of no amendment, and then when it went to the Committee on Peace and Reconciliation,
Natalo.
again, natalo.
Natalo.
So 2-1.
Actually, if i-total mo raw yung 3 committees, mas marami pa yung ayaw.
Mas marami. But anyway, 2-1.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
what happened when we resumed Congress after the break, after the barangay elections,
Yes.
the day after, there was already the formal ratification of what transpired during the break.
Yes, yes.
So, again, the House Bill 6475 without a single amendment. After that, there were many congressmen, including myself. We said we have to do something. We went to the speaker, we went to majority leader, and we said, it cannot be. Even the president has said he wants the police and military. One police, national in scope,
Yes.
civilian in character.
Yes.
The military does not have to coordinate with
Yes,
the
yes,
Bangsamoro.
yes.
So we said that we need amendments. So there
Okay.
were small groups, there were small group meetings,
Okay.
caucuses, and the like. And anyway, so Tuesday the 29th, what was presented on the floor was this.
That's the amended.
64, 70, without any amendments. This was the one presented on the floor because that is the one that came out in the committee report.
Yes, okay.
Okay? So some of us stood up, and I stood up, and I started interpolating on, I said I have only 1 hour.
Okay.
And then I was only given 1 hour. So I picked certain important points, and I interpolated based on that.
And it was accepted.
Now, then the next day,
Yes.
what was presented for votation is the substitute bill
Okay.
of 64
75.
75 with many amendments. And this was what we voted upon
And
to
so
approve
okay.
or disapprove.
Okay. And this is the one that it will be submitted now for the conference committee.
Yes, this is the one that will be submitted to the bicameral conference committee.
Okay.
So again, the vote was 220 plus, I think.
Why did you abstain?
Okay, there was 220 plus that voted yes, 11 that voted no, and there were
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions.
Why did you abstain, Congressman?
To explain why I abstained, perhaps it's better if more or less I inform you
Yes.
what was in the original and what was in the substitute bill.
Okay.
There are many issues, but let's go one by one.
Yes,
Take
yes,
the
okay,
more
okay.
important one.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
In the original 6475, okay, there was the provisions on creeping expansion.
25 years. Every
20
5 years, there was a plebiscite.
Correct.
Okay.
And then it even mentioned the contiguous provinces, cities, municipalities, barangays, and other
Yes.
geographic areas mentioned in the triple agreement.
Yes, yes.
If you mention the triple agreement, you are opening again a can of worms.
Yes.
Okay. There were 13 provinces and 9 cities at that time because there were more cities that were created.
So this was
okay. So what happened?
This was
and
amended.
Then, this was not amended.
It
This
was
was
removed.
completely deleted.
So
There
wala,
is
wala na yan.
There is no more creeping expansion. Even the section on contiguous territory, it said contiguous provinces, this is the original, no?
Yes, yes.
Even barangays and geographic areas other than those mentioned in the preceding section that obtain majority of the qualified votes in the periodic plebiscite under section 15 shall become part of the Bangsamoro. This was completely
Deleted. So
So
wala na yan.
now there is only one
Plebiscite.
plebiscite. And that is a major amendment. In fact, many of the congressmen and congresswomen of Mindanao were very
Happy.
concerned about this original actually 6 plebiscites, 1 upon ratification,
Okay.
and then 5 in the period of 25 years. So what I said, what is the spirit? In my interpretation, I asked, what is the spirit and intent of this provision?
Okay.
What? To expand? And then after 25 years, anong muka na Mindanao? I said,
Yes.
you know?
I'll ask this of you, Congressman. I've heard this. There are, in fact, which will be my hanging question before the break, there are, in fact, Muslim Mindanaoan congressmen who, in fact, urge, please question the quorum, please mention this, please say this, in order to block, actually, the passage of the BBL. True or not, when we return?
Okay.